Thanks very much for joining us. You see the High Noon placard right above me, so you know where we are. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to hand it off to D here. D may have stepped away, so I may have to hand it off to myself. Go for
No,
it,
I'm
D, if you're
here.
there.
No, I'm here. This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be 21 and over to be here. If not, you have to get out.
That's the way.
Welcome,
Yep.
everybody. Back to you, Fuminor.
Cheers, D. Good to see you. He's got a kitty cat that he's apparently wrangling with in the background there, so we're going to hear
Mm-hmm.
lots of meows and all that kind of stuff. As we always
Nice
knew
move.
that D is a pussy magnet, of course. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. So far, nobody in the chat. Let me switch to live chat so that we can see a superior chatting experience and actually see if anybody else comes in here. Looks like YouTube did something different yesterday. It hopped up in the stream we did last night on my main channel, Fumidor and the Flavors. It looks like there's like what is it? UXP top fans. Be the first in the leaderboard by showing support. Try sending a live chat or super chat. I don't know if you're able to send live chats or super chats right now, but well, maybe on this channel. Although maybe not on this channel. I actually don't know. I actually have no idea. But apparently by commenting and chatting and stuff, you can like become number one. That's kind of fun. Anyway.
Oh, I've been doing that already.
Ladies and gentlemen, hope we can get this one running. We have struggled a bit with High Noon for the last couple 3 weeks. We had a great show like 2 3 weeks ago. Oh, here comes Hardcore. Maybe we'll actually have a show after all. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to do something different. I physically just have not had a chance to do it, honestly. But I'm trying to do something different with the show. Haven't done it yet. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we're still kind of in the old rules where, hop on, join us, join the conversation. Cheers, Hardcore. That's amazing. Wouldn't that be incredible if that was a real picture? It's fucking spectacular. I gotta show that just because it's fucking ridiculous. Look at that shit right here. Here, not because you're ugly or something, but hide your face so we can show that picture. It's fucking amazing. When we talk about trees, that's what we're imagining, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
shit, yeah.
How many
Oh, I
pounds do you,
love
how
those.
many, assuming those are normal sized people, D, how many pounds do you think would be
No.
on that?
Okay, so I already know all about this, what Hardcore's doing, but that's awesome. Too
Is
bad you
that
couldn't get it to
fantastic?
move.
No, I mean
It,
it's obviously fake, right? It's obviously an AI picture, but basically it's
it
just
actually probably moves.
does it move actually?
Not the picture shot, but
Oh,
the
but there's like a
actual thing
video.
might
Oh, right
move
on,
because
right on.
yeah, there's like this new AI thing where you can take a picture and you can make it look like it's doing shit.
Gotcha. Oh, you know
There's
what? I
like so you
actually
can take
haven't
these
played
little
I
with.
guys
made it
there.
on GPT.
Can you? Let's see here. Can you even use Veo?
Does it move hardcore? Is it one of those moving ones? Have you seen those?
I've seen him. Yeah, well, it's not one of them though.
Okay, that's pretty cool though. You can get like moving. You can get those things. Actually, show them trimming the little buds too if you get to move. It's very cool for me. I need to put my glasses. I'm going to go outside. Shit. Gonna make a coffee.
I'm just looking up if you
I got too much on the go.
try in
Ah.
Gemini.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, that's dumb. So I just looked at, I was like, oh, I haven't really fucked with Google Veo or anything because everyone's just using the stupid Veo bullshit to make all these crazy AI videos. And so I just clicked on it and I didn't even know where to look. So I just kind of Googled fucking Veo. And I know it's part of Google. So anyway, like they basically sent me to their Google website and then they said, try it in Gemini. So I basically went to Gemini and I have been using Gemini, but I haven't signed up or anything. I mean, I have a Google account or whatever, but I haven't signed up for anything. But then it clicks me over to this to actually be able to use this stuff, to be able to use the DeepMind stuff. Oh, and to be able to use,
Maybe.
oh no, actually you can use, I think you can use Veo in there. Okay, so you can use Veo in their Google AI Pro, and then to actually use Google Veo 3, you have to pay 124 bucks a month for 3 months. So it would be $250 a month, or if you pay for 3 months, it's $125 a month for the
Holy
fucking
shit.
Google AI. Jesus,
Fuck
fuck
that.
balls. I mean, I guess, if you had one of these dipshit TikTok channels and you were creating these fucking Sasquatch videos that get 85 million hits and stuff, I suppose it would be well worth it because all the fucking fake money will flow at you. But Jesus H Christ. You know what I mean? Like, It's only a matter of time before cannabis people basically pay 125 bucks a month and just start churning out fake cannabis videos. You know, people for years said, "Oh, this guy's cannabis photos are Photoshop. This guy's cannabis photos." Well, now they're actually going to be able to fucking Photoshop them. Fuck's sake. Anyway, what's going
Oh,
on,
man.
Hardcore?
I am fucking sweating like a fucking whore in church.
Are you? How hot is it there?
I don't know, probably 90, 80%, 90% humidity.
Oh man, that's terrible.
And the sun's just beating down on this roof where I gotta lay some of my, like my ice and water, it's called, underlayment.
Oh,
And that shit, when it's hot like this, I mean, technically you're not supposed to use staples anymore anyways, but you just can't, it's death waiting to happen.
Hmm.
Slips and slides and
Oh yeah.
feel like a 10-year-old up there. I gotta always be grabbing onto something and shit.
Hmm.
It's just like, it's only like a 512 pitch too.
Hmm. What is it about
But
being
you
on a
gotta be just
roof
not
that's just so
fucking,
hot? I don't know, is it that flat surface that reflects it back at you or what? Because it just
well,
seems
it's
like you can be on the ground and it's fine, but go ahead.
the black surface does, just because black attracts heat. So the roof gets extra hot because of that.
Hmm,
Not
that's
only that,
probably
but
true too.
all of the induction or all the heat from the house that's coming off out of the, you know,
Hmm,
all goes
that's a fair
upwards.
point too.
And
Yeah.
that's all like if you look at a roof, you'll see it's like wavy above it a lot of times when it's hot
Hmm.
because all the heat coming out of the house too.
Hmm.
Yeah. This house
No,
is so
that's fair.
fucking.
That's a fair point. I'd never thought about that. You're getting all the heat from the house, and any house is generating some heat. There's a refrigerator, there's a water heater, there's all kinds of stuff in there.
And
And so
this house
all that
doesn't.
heat is going up. Go
This
ahead.
house was last updated in like the 50s or something like that because there's no vapor barriers on it. So all the heat is just leaving. So it all must just come straight out.
Hmm.
I found that out yesterday when I was staring into my wall.
this
Sometimes
is
they at least put
inside
tar
now.
paper as a vapor barrier, but I
How
saved their
old is the
vines though. I
house?
shot their.
Oh, look at all that ivy.
I'm gu- I'm guessing 1930s,
Hmm. It's a
something like
crazy
that.
amount of
Because it
ivy. Is
had
it, I guess I can't even see. I guess I could make your picture bigger. Is it brick walls or what? Oh no, it's stone
no,
walls.
it's
Or I mean
wood
wood
siding,
walls. Huh.
cedar siding.
So
Particularly
they're
mud.
not worried about that ivy at all or what?
Yes.
Well, there was a like you can see, there's a bunch hanging down on the top. There was a chimney that stuck up like 6 feet that I took out just
Gotcha.
yesterday.
Huh.
Saved some of it for a fire pit for the guy, and then there's a bunch more that I haven't thrown in the trailer yet. But
Hmm.
I don't know, like
Right on.
as far as like not having the vapor barrier and shit. Like we have plastic in our ceilings, all these sorts of shit. But like I tore into this wall, I tore just the siding off of it. And see how there's like a big, when I can stick my finger in through that wall right there.
That'd be
And
too
how you're
sad.
talking about old growth wood and shit. Like this lumber that's
The
used as siding here.
don't move around too much because the picture is
Okay.
super, super, super grainy. There we go. It's clearing up a little bit. Yeah, right on.
I don't know if you can see that, like
Yeah, yeah.
1 by 12 or something like that right there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm guessing this house was built in the fucking 30s at the
Oh,
latest. Because there's cedar shake shingles I had to tear up underneath the top up there.
interesting.
I mean, like all these, where these windows used to be, it's all just, I mean, this house has just got to be hell to fucking or heat.
I was
It's
just
not a
gonna
big
say it's
house.
probably terribly insulated. Yeah.
It's
My
got an
old
insulation,
house.
but still, there's no vapor barriers, so there's no,
Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Air just flow. People have, I mean, the whole concept of insulating the house has changed like 4 or 5 times. Um, now now they might even do something different. But when I learned about it years ago, it was basically a whole new concept of kind of envelopes, basically. And you wanted to essentially isolate the envelopes from the outside world, basically. So, for example, the attic, they would used to insulate the entire attic. Now they basically would never insulate the entire attic as an attic. They basically insulate it as the top of the house essentially, and then they make sure that air passes through that attic. They have vents and all that kind of stuff, right? And that basically keeps like a bubble around that. It's kind of like an igloo, essentially. It keeps a bubble around the house, the living quarters of the house, that makes it easier to insulate. Anyway, completely different freaking concept than it used to be. What am I trying to say? You can kind of see this in real terms. Like my house now, right now I don't have, well, right now it's not that hot of a day outside, but even if it were relatively hot, it would still be okay in here because it's insulated quite well. Um, what am I trying to say? The attic is isolated from the envelope of the house. One of the
Yeah,
reasons
like,
why
so
the garage is
how
so difficult to grow in is because it's not like that, and so it does build up heat. What's that?
how a modern house would be built is these see how you can see the rafters coming out, or the rafter tails you can call them, kind of.
Mm,
Normally there'd be a you could see through there. I mean, there's blocking right there,
mm,
but normally there's a yeah, you make there's like a vent that you make that goes right there, and then like level to the bottom of that fascia board there, there's the soffit material. Most houses have it, but that way the actual, and then there's roof vents on the top of the roof, and what it does is it sucks the air in through there, and then
kind of up and over. Yeah.
yeah, it will follow the top of the roof line basically,
Huh.
and you leave a gap there. I don't know. There's all sorts of ways to do it though, but
And in theory, that cools the roof down. I mean, you probably don't appreciate that very much right now when you're climbing on the roof, but in theory, that's supposed to cool the roof down and make it last longer, I guess. And I can't remember. It does several other things too. What was I going to say? Oh, and compared to my old house, like so, it was a 1932 house, basically similar area, similar era as yours, similar design, everything, honestly. Um, Horribly insulated, horribly insulated. And little by little by little, we ended up doing quite a bit more. We did what we did, redid the siding, and so we did blown in insulation when we redid the siding, and then we put some insulation, of course, on the in the attic. But we really couldn't get up there and do enough because it wasn't built up to have the attic vents and stuff. So anyway, long story short, we had all kinds of issues because of that. But um, the only reason the house didn't really get hot in the summer is because we had this amazing cedar tree in front of it. Speaking of cedar trees, it's fucking incredible Mediterranean cedar that would shade the
mm,
house most of the day until about 3 o'clock. And then, you'd get a little bit of sun or something. But then in the evening, we had east-west windows in that area by the Willamette River. The wind is always blowing one way east or west, basically. So as long as you'd open the windows in the morning and the evening, it would just clear the entire house out completely. So that was clever design. People were really clever about that kind of stuff, which was surprising too, because some of my neighbors, their houses had been designed differently, and so their windows were north-south, so they couldn't do the same thing that we did. So their houses were always hot. How funny is that? Anyway, but that house would always get cold as fuck in the winter. So it wouldn't get that hot in the summer, but it would get fucking just frigid in the winter unless we just burned all the freaking natural gas in the entire world. Whereas this place, fuck right off. When it gets hot, like yesterday, it was what, 95 or 96 degrees or something outside. Finally, I was like, oh man, I was trying to, tough it out or something because I'm trying to get used to the weather a little bit. I was like, fuck it, I'm done. And I closed the windows and turned on the AC. And literally within 5 minutes, the AC wasn't even working hard. No, granted, I have like a heat pump and stuff, so it doesn't work too hard. But literally, the house cooled down in like 5 minutes. And then it stayed cooled down, and it didn't like the AC doesn't, I don't use that much electricity for it and so on because the house is reasonably well insulated. It's just a complete difference. It's really
there's
interesting.
all
This
sorts of
house also doesn't waste water like my old house. It's really interesting to see the difference between a modern house and an old house. Go ahead.
I was gonna say yeah, even I mean people have been doing geothermal things for fucking years too, and
Mm.
that's for the initial investment. Depending on how you do it, like my brother's house, he's got an actual. They like basically it's like they drilled a well basically because he's got a pipes that go down like 60 feet or something like that, and then
Proud of your
his
mom.
pipes just run um it's like an antifreeze type fluid in them or whatever,
Beat you, D.
but but it constantly pumps that fluid through the pipes going down to the ground, and it keeps it at whatever, like I think it's like 65 degrees is the ground temperature.
Mm.
And so wherever you're at, whether it's in it's 40 below in January, and you're already at 65 degrees with your heat, without having to pay anything.
In theory, that's doable in a few different parts of the
And same
country.
as if if it's 120 degrees in the summer, you're already at 60. So you only have to or 65 whatever it is. But you can do that with just taking like drain tile. It's like just like a flexible kind of pipe kind of, and like 8-inch pipe or something like that. And you can just bury those, like say from
Yeah.
here to that telephone pole, like like a couple 100 feet away or something like that. You bury it like 8 feet or 6 feet down, and then you just run them all out to there. And then all you need is like a little either a exhaust or an intake or exhaust fan, whichever way you point it, on the one side. And yeah, there you get the same effect. But you can do it for like what it costs to keep a computer running in the background,
Huh.
with just one of them little fans.
How much do you think? I mean, I guess we just kind of said a very general design, but the general design that you just illustrated, how much ballpark do you think it would cost to install?
Well, if you didn't have to pay for labor, maybe like $1,000, probably, maybe less than that. But there's
So I
a
was just going
video
to
on
say
YouTube.
it's an interesting thought. You know, we for example, I have an air conditioner, but I have almost a quarter. It's a little bit less than a quarter acre, but it's almost a quarter acre of land. It's not set up for this. But in theory, in theory, if I had millions of dollars or whatever, if I were building a brand new house or something, right? Instead of using an air conditioner, I could very easily build some kind of a ground intercooler. Like you said, basically bury pipes in the ground. Doesn't have to be that far deep because what, six
Yeah.
inches down to the ground, it's always 65, 63 degrees or something here.
Well,
I can't remember exactly what the temperature
So
is, but it's
it
always
depends on where you are because in the winter
depends
you
on where
get
you are,
right
probably,
below
yeah.
the frost line. If you get winter.
But you would,
But
yeah. For example, we don't really have frost here, so we don't have to worry about it. But
yeah,
you'd
but I think
definitely
you
have to
still
be under the
gotta go
frost line.
down like 3 feet or something because that ground is connected. It gets warm.
Go ahead, D.
moonshiners also, that's what they do when it's getting but to keep their barrels cool. They dig holes, round holes in the ground, and they put their barrels in it for their mash.
Oh, people have
Keep
been
it
doing that for a
fast.
long time. That was the
Yeah,
ancient
then they put
refrigerator. Yeah,
exactly.
ground cellar, basically. I
Yeah,
Ground
had,
cellar.
speaking of my old house, one of the rooms in the basement had been set up as a ground cellar. That was ironically the room that I first started growing in. And wouldn't you know it, it was a very primitive design, but worked extremely well. It had two features going for it, basically. So it was a cement floor like the rest of the basement, but they had purposefully set it down lower. I don't know how much work that must have taken to purposefully set part of the basement lower than the rest of the basement. But anyway, they did that way back when. It might be simpler to do than I can think of. But anyway, so it wasn't that much. It was like, I mean, enough to trip, definitely, especially if you weren't paying attention. But it was like 6 or 8 inches lower, maybe 6 inches lower. So it really wasn't all that much lower. But wouldn't you know it, that slight inset down into the ground made that whole room so much cooler. And it had basically concrete walls. I think it used to be a brick wall, but anyway, they'd concreted it over a long, long time ago. And so it was a fairly enclosed space with wood shelves on one side. And the other thing is that it had heat escape, basically, where I can't remember the name of this, but it's the box below chimneys, basically. Hardcore would know the name of this. Anyway, it's like below the firebox, there's a ventilation box, and basically that ventilation box had a vent in that room, and so any heat would just escape up through the chimney. And it wouldn't even escape up into the upstairs because the way the chimney was designed, it would just escape out the back of the flue. Um, Long story short, that room was always cooler than the rest of the garage. So it was really stupid of me, not the garage, the basement. It was really stupid of me to try to start growing in that room because I constantly fought against the heat. But I was a noob way back when. I was like, this is nice. This is like a tent, man. I can close the room and close the doors. It could be great. But anyway, I didn't account for how cold it was in that fucking room. And legitimately, it was always super cold in that room. Excuse me. But if you can think, if you put potatoes or garlic or whatever the fuck, it's gonna last there forever because it was literally always like the basement was almost always 63, and so it was always what 5 degrees cooler, so it was always like top 57 degrees. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily enough to keep meat and stuff, but it's definitely cool enough to keep your fucking veggies and stuff through the winter. Hardcore's driving around Minnesota,
Crazy.
golf carts.
Yeah, yeah, that's fun.
I basically live in a retirement in a vacation village.
Oh, do you really?
Well, this is actually a town on that. This town is like I think 800 people. That was so bad.
Yeah,
Hurry, hurry, hurry! We're getting a boat.
that's right.
But
I'm pretty medicated from this joint.
yeah, so like The lake that this is on is I think it's like 80,000 acres or something.
Oh wow.
It's 21 miles of lakeshore, and it's like I think it's 9 miles long. And the town I live is on the other side. It's got like 3,000 people, and then this one is like 1,000 people or a little less on that other side.
Take your ass back across 8 Mile.
Wait, that's the wrong state.
But I am fucking freezing
I know.
or not freezing. I'm in the opposite of freezing. I'm overheating my ass. I'm gonna fucking
I can imagine.
in the drink here quick. Cool my body down a little bit.
Oh
Seriously.
my.
You need to up on that roof. Actually, I'm surprised more roofers don't wear like Bedouin clothes. I was just gonna say you need to wear like a fucking Bedouin robe or whatever because they're all
This kid just got a
loosey-goosey and they
fish
allow
right
the air
there.
to come through. Pardon?
Oh, that kid just caught a fish.
Oh, right on. Although you
Um,
were talking about those lightweight hoodie. Was it you talking about those yesterday? I think it was him. They're like lightweight hoodies for construction workers and stuff. Somebody was talking about that yesterday.
I know a lot of roofers that'll shave their legs.
For what or why?
a lot
Because
of
of
them,
the hair.
I know they actually wear
Oh,
long sleeve shirts and shit, like, especially the Mexicans.
yeah, because it
Well,
reflects the
here,
heat. Yeah.
Well,
here in Canada,
not only that, but when you sweat in it,
yeah.
you constantly have air conditioning.
Oh, it wicks the heat away. Interesting.
But I usually wear like right now I'm wearing a white shirt and shorts. Usually
Huh.
don't wear shorts at work, but too fucking
Dude,
hot.
roofing is, oh my God, it's a fucking intense activity. Goodness
I'm sitting
gracious.
inside in this nice weather. It's awesome.
Here's one of the parks here. Sit smoke bowl here, but I'd show the beach, but I'm not gonna be driving around with my camera on at the beach.
Right.
Easy
Hi,
rider.
I'm from
Monster
TikTok and
tree.
I'm here to film your beach.
Monster cottonwood.
Ray!
I'm from the Bitches of Beaches on TikTok. We have 87 million thousand subscribers, and we are bitches that go to beaches.
There's people sitting where was gonna hop in here.
This joint's off.
I'm the beach
Here
bitch.
you can see part of the lake.
I just know there's somebody called the beach bitch, and she's probably got eight fucking million subscribers.
Shit.
Yeah, you got me thinking I should grab at the beach. Just
Hardcore's like, I'm gonna be a TikToker too, baby.
That's one thing I don't go. That's one thing I don't go on is TikTok.
Oh, I can't stand it. Yeah. I mean, it's not as if how do I say this? It's not like I can't stand like yelling to get off my lawn or something, but I don't really like the whole vibe of it. You know, I don't like the constant.
Mm.
It's basically like weaponized doom scrolling. You know what I mean? And the amount of like I've lost several friends now to like TikTok misinformation. Like it's obviously not there on the level. You know, I mean, you can say the same thing about Facebook, but I also don't use Facebook whenever I can. But TikTok seems more obviously weaponized somehow. I don't know. If it's not even weaponized, because that might be the wrong way to say it. It's just commercialized so far that yeah, I can't express it.
I'm on enough social media as it
That's
is.
it. Social media is already kind of for a lot of
This is
people, I think,
even
has been
crazy.
shown to be a failed experiment. But of course, it's one of the dominant business models of the earth. It's really perverse.
oh, we got some bikinis going on.
Uh-oh. Bikini alert.
They're gonna see me with my camera here and be like,
Too
"What
bad
the?"
that it's
Don't
Steve the plumber.
forget to
Everyone.
honk at them, and
Yeah,
you'll be
no.
like, honk honk.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. But honk at Steve in his bikini. That'd be pretty funny. He'd be like, "Oh my God, you appreciated it. You noticed." 55-year-old guy with a plumber's crack. He's like, "It's
Oh
bikini
Horse
no.
time."
races inside it.
Oh my.
Yeah, I've built a lot of houses on this lake.
Have you? Huh.
Like I say, there's 21 miles of lakeshore, so there's plenty of fucking real estate for lakes. There's some skiing.
Uh-huh. That's true. You said
Bunch of
you've been
rich
building
ass
houses for a long
motherfuckers.
time, so I guess you may have actually built quite a few of
I
those
mean,
houses.
I built several. Well, I was putting rafters up on 9/11 on this lake. So
Huh.
long I've been building out here.
That's crazy.
I mean, there's a lot of multi-million-dollar houses that get lived in maybe 2 or 3 weeks a year.
Hmm.
You know, fully furnished and everything. Fucking, yeah.
So many communities like that. I don't know. It's such a weird business model. I don't know. Like the communities get hollowed out. Like the Oregon coast is a lot like that. In the wintertime, sure, people go and visit their winter houses and stuff, or their summer houses, I guess, rather in the winter. But most of the time, it's summer season, and so both for rentals, but also the people that own those houses and stuff. All of a sudden, the towns are full of people, but they're all full of strangers, right? So it's like none of the people at the grocery store are people and whatever else. I've talked to people that live out there, right? It's just a very, very like a hollow experience, basically. And it's apparently very, very hard to find friends and stuff because, in the wintertime, everyone fucking leaves and no one's really there for anything but vacation or maybe temp jobs anyway. So it's like, even if the community is big, like there's a few towns out there that are, not big necessarily, but, decent sized towns, 100, 200,000 people, it still apparently feels like a super small town. It's very interesting to hear about it. Because for the most part, I've never really lived on the coast. I've just basically, I'm one of those fucking tourists. I've gone out there for the day or for a couple days or something. So, essentially, I'm kind of part of the problem, I guess, you could say. But I don't know. It's interesting. Or these like beach house communities, for example. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's varies here. I mean, like I say, a lot of them are from, you know, our version of like the opposite of the snowbirds. All the people from Minneapolis, all the rich people, they get real estate on lakes,
Huh.
Much now.
and then they come up and get in
Like
car
muted.
accidents.
Let's see. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you probably won't see too many snowbirds now because a lot of them are selling their properties
What is that?
because of what happened with all the bullshit with the Trump.
I'm still not following.
Oh,
Are they going to
about
Florida or something or what?
everywhere. Apparently, yeah, a lot of people are the older people that do snowbirds. Like, um, my sister-in-law's, uh, her the husband's mother that mother the mother and father. Sorry, they used to go to Arizona every year, but they're just selling it because of all the tariff taxes and
Oh, because they're
all the other
Canadian?
bullshit. Yeah,
I see.
and they're not the only one apparently.
Getting
Bullshit.
some feedback from you, yeah.
I've got several aunts and uncles that have that like live most of the year down in what do they call it? The resorts, I think they call it, or the greens. It's a
Interesting
village
stuff.
down in Florida. That's like it's something like 100 square miles of golf courses or something like that.
Huh.
But it's just all old people fucking and like 50-gallon drums of Viagra.
Huh?
Uh,
You walk into the
hey,
freaking
boner.
cafeteria for dinner and there's just a big bowl.
Hey man, I've known a lot of CNAs or known and dated a lot of CNAs, and them old guys, they especially the ones that are got a little bit of dementia to them, or they don't fucking, or they're, bachelors or whatever, widows and shit. Um, a lot of them, a lot of the girls that I talked to, whatever, they said, you told me some stories.
No, apparently old folks' homes are quite rife. They're also rife with sexually transmitted diseases because a lot of the old people, like you say, are either maybe detached, perhaps don't know for one reason or the other, or in many cases they don't care because they're like, I'm 95 years old, what do I care? What else? Apparently there's
Well, they've
50
never
different
worn a
reasons. I
rubber
can't
neck
remember.
on his
Like
book
I
or
remember
what's a
reading the fucking
prophylactic.
funniest story. But anyway, apparently HPV and all kinds of stuff is super rampant in old folks' homes. Anyway.
And one time I was working on it was actually I did a lot. I've done a lot of remodeling nursing homes, and I was doing
Huh.
speaking of wainscoting, I was doing some wainscoting in the or no, I was actually doing I was puttying nail holes on all the wainscoting, and so I wasn't making any noise. I was just in the back of this big fucking what do you call it, cafeteria area or whatever, and all of a sudden this old lady that was like all she was hunched over like fucking Like she was in a Fenty doing the Fenty dance or whatever. But she's fucking she was pushing a guy that was a complete vegetable. He's like contorted, kind of like his like body was like trying to do the twist or something like that, and
Oh,
spinning
I
his
thought you said
goals.
he was imported. I thought you were like, what? An imported
Hello.
vegetable? Anyway, continue. Oh, did we just lose him? Dang it, the internet didn't like his story. Dang it. Hopefully we can get him back. Folks, we're possibly here for a
I'm
few more
here.
minutes at least. What's up, D? We're here for a little bit longer at least. Who's chatting? Oh, that's D saying something. Let me post the link, folks, so you guys can join us. We're normally here for about an hour, but that's conversation dependent because I actually have stuff to do. I might honestly have to go and do a bunch of errands today. So, oh, dang it, we just lost hardcore. So, even more reason, ladies and gentlemen, hop on here, join the conversation. We're not here just to waste time. We are here to actually talk about things constructively and interestingly. So, do hop on, join us, join the conversation. If we don't get anybody on here in a few minutes, I'll just kind of finish up this joint and then we'll bounce. We at least made it through, a half hour of conversation, so that's good. That's better than last week. We couldn't even get the conversation started. So, trying to do something different in the near future here. I have been promising for weeks now. Oh, here comes Midwest. Hopefully, again, it'll be next week. So, I hope I don't. Hope I'm not lying to you that it's. Oh, what did I just do? I freaking accidentally tried to talk to Siri. Now she's not going to shut up for a while. Go to fucking hell, Siri. We are not going to need you. Please stop. There we go. All right. She does that flashing light thing where she's like, I'm listening, I'm listening, I'm listening. What do you want me to talk about? What's up, Midwest? Cheers, buddy. Oh, he's still hooking up. So small tubes.
Hello,
Okay.
Miss
Cheers, Midwest.
Midwest.
Hey, what's up?
Go on, buddy.
You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not much. Hanging out. I'm on vacation this week, so
Oh, right on.
can actually
Sweet.
hop on.
Are you doing anything fun? Or are you just kind of chilling out, relaxing, just decompressing?
Yes.
Nice.
Pretty much just chilling, doing shit around the house.
Got any plans for the 4th? Gonna do any grilling or anything?
Yes. We have a lake property. We go and ride side by sides. We don't actually go in the lake. We just go like there's creeks and rivers, and we just go ride side by sides and hang out for the day
that's
in
cool.
different spots.
What's the difference between a side-by-side and a 4x4? Is it literally two people next to each other?
Yeah, it's just a term for them. It's like a glorified golf cart, really, but
Okay.
I mean, I say that they're nothing like a golf cart. I mean, mine goes 80 mile an hour. It'll hold 4
I've
people.
seen some souped-up golf carts, though. I'm kidding, but I know what you mean. Here in Oregon, we have like dune buggies and stuff down in Southern Oregon because the Florence beaches down in way Southern Oregon are surprisingly, it looks like Saudi Arabia. It's literally like dunes, and so people go out there with dune buggies and
Nice.
stuff. And gosh, I haven't done it for years, but I got to do it a couple times when I was younger. So much freaking fun, right?
Yeah,
And go figure, in fucking Oregon with all the trees and everything else, there's this goddamn sand dune. Anyway, that's how life works.
I heard Utah is really nice, especially with sand. They have salt. Salt.
The Salt Flats, where is it?
Salt flats. Thank you.
Dang it, where are the big ones are down in like South America, but where is it? I know what you're talking about. What the fuck?
where they do the land speed records.
Yeah. Bonneville.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
A lot of racing. They race
You
a
ever
lot.
It's
seen that
very
movie?
confusing to me though because Bonneville Dam is like every Oregonian is like, oh yeah, I know Bonneville Dam. It's fucking dam up here on the Columbia River. But no, it's I guess what is it in Utah?
Damn
I guess we could
dam.
look this up because I've never thought
You ever
about
seen
it.
that movie, the World's Fastest Indian?
I, uh, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember if I saw it.
Fantastic movie.
Mill Salt Flats.
think
Could have been 7-Eleven.
What?
Nothing.
Oh yeah, they are in Utah. Utah's Lake Bonneville region. Right on. Oh, and that makes perfect sense because they talk about Great Salt Lake and all that kind of shit. Okay, that makes perfect sense now. Right on.
Utah.
I haven't been to Utah in a long time. Like literally since I was probably like 8 years old. How funny is that? It's not that funny because there's 50 states. There's a lot of states that I probably haven't been to. I don't think I've ever been to Rhode
Same
Island.
here.
That's right. Have you ever been to D? Have you ever been to the States at all? You've been to the States.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I've
okay.
been to New York
Oh, right on.
and Watertown, and yeah, I
Lee,
think that's about it.
you're dual citizen, aren't you?
Buffalo. What's that? Midwest?
Aren't you a dual citizen?
No.
Oh,
No,
I
I
probably could.
I
I
thought
probably
that.
could be.
Okay. Were you born in Canada then?
Yeah, but my
Okay.
mother's they're part American.
Okay, that's what I'm
your mother's
thinking of.
one of them filthy Americans.
How I trying
It's
to
been
break my
kind of
kitty
amusing
walls?
watching D become increasingly. It's like watching the English Revolution or something, the American Revolution happen. Like, brother goes against brother. It's been kind of funny watching D just slowly turn anti-American. Like he used to be super, like kind of like Christoph used to be super pro-American, and now he's like anytime anything American comes up, he just like he can't help himself anymore. He's like, "Grr," it's just like he's really angry about it. Anyway, one of these days he's gonna stage a mutiny or something. I'm half joking because
Yeah,
I understand, but it's still a ridiculous situation. Where's this fucking is that me?
you know.
Feedback coming from me? Did you guys hear that feedback or no? Oh, it might have just been me. Anyway. Um yeah, if this is like 6 months of this fucking situation we're oh, I don't know. Probably shouldn't start talking politics now, but goodness gracious, it is really something, when you get like very, very I don't know how do you put this like harmless people that don't get angry about anything, and all of a sudden they're angry about something. Like you got kind of a problem, I think. But what do I
Yeah.
know? Anyway, how's the garden growing? How's the garden growing, Midwest?
I actually don't have one right now.
Hmm.
Kind of trying to get out of the house we're in, so I just didn't plant nothing.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I've been thinking about it's kind of an annoying situation. You really can't have weed plants when you're trying to sell a house, for example. And this is not a joke actually, because the potential buyers, like they're getting federally backed mortgages and stuff. Like apparently weed plants can actually knock out a sale, I've heard a couple times. So long story short, you're literally not allowed at my place that I was trying to sell at my old place. I had like 6 or 10 little cannabis clones that I got at one of the dispensaries or something around because Flora and a couple people told me there were a couple of great dispensaries. Sure enough, they were really great. What I can't think of the name of it, Green Dragon or some shit. Anyway, they had good clones, right? And so I had these little clones sitting in literally just on like a pitcher on my balcony, basically just kind of sitting there doing nothing. They were just in like root plugs. They had nothing to do, nowhere to go. They were obviously not flowering or anything, right? But one of the real estate agents that was apparently showing the place came through and saw those fucking clones and called my real estate agent. Was like, "Is this a weed house, bro? Is this a place where they grew weed all the time?" And my agent's like, he sees the picture and he's like, he doesn't even know how to laugh hard enough. You know what I mean? He's just like, "What are you?" And he has to dial it back because, of course, this is a professional request. No, this is not a weed house. My friend just picked up a couple of clones. He's going to be leaving as soon as he sells the place. Da, 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 da. In fact, he's going to be leaving, in a couple of weeks, not even when he sells the place. He literally had to tell this guy this stuff. So, like, you cannot have weed plants. So I was thinking, cheers, hardcore. You're welcome back. I was thinking to myself, I'm trying to eventually sell this place. And I'm like, so what does that mean for me? Does that mean that, I don't know, next year or something, I'm not going to be able to have an outdoor? Like if I were to sell like the next summer, for example, right? Does that mean that I can't have an outdoor? And not only that, but I have to cut everything else down before I even start selling? And I was thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, that's actually literally what it means. Like whenever I decide to sell the place, even if it takes me 4, 5, 6 months to sell the place, I'm not going to be able to grow weed just because of the stupid bullshit. You know what I mean? And the irony is like the future seller or future buyer might even want to grow weed, right? Like there's a ton of fucking people around here that grow weed. Uh uh doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's
Bullshit.
so ridiculous. Yeah. So fucking ridiculous. Same thing,
You better
people
have,
always talk about, oh, who cares about plant count, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, I understand. I mean, I'm not an idiot either, right? But anybody that's ever been through this show, and there have been multiple people through this show that have had custody hearings or anything else, well, guess what? If you have an acrimonious divorce with a fucking custody hearing, You can't have any weed in the house. You can't have any alcohol in the house. You can't have anything that could be interpreted as inappropriate in any way in the fucking house, right? I've heard from a couple people in the chat that you know, shared
No
their horror
hookers.
stories with me. I'm smiling. I'm not smiling intentionally. It's like a macabre smile or something, you know, like the shit that people had to go through just because their ex-wife was a piece of shit, for example. And of course, you don't know the whole story, right? I'm not going to say that their ex-wife was the worst person in the world, but from the story that I heard, I can tell you that plenty of ex-wives are pieces of shit from experience. It can be an incredibly malicious process to go through, even if you don't have kids, to go through a divorce, much less if you have to actually fight for custody. And divorces, don't forget, can take sometimes a couple, 3 years. What's her fuck? Now, granted, they're rich as fuck, but Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's divorce took like fucking 10 years to finalize because they
Oh,
kept
poor
Brad
Brad,
Pitt
man.
kept going past. Well, Brad Pitt fucking he's actually kind of a piece of shit, actually, to be honest. But long story short, their situation's different because they're mega rich. But still, divorce is a friend of mine. A friend of mine, her divorce took like 2.5, 3 years because her ex-husband now took every opportunity to basically prolong the process. Even though, how do I say this? It was really just kind of sadism, you know. He kind of admitted it afterwards, actually, that he was just kind of trying to drag it out as long as he could. And he had more money than her, so it was a lot easier for him to do, you know. So imagine that whole time you wouldn't be able to grow, you know. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's fucking weed, dude. But we're still there, man. Until it becomes, even if it becomes federally legal, it probably still won't help a lot of men famously kind of get short shafted in many divorces, custody hearings, and so on and so forth. And I bet you anything that even if weed is federally legal, men will still have to keep their nose clean for the foreseeable future. I hope maybe at some point in the future that will change, but man, I don't even know. You know?
Just
Yeah,
don't
in
get
fact,
married.
go ahead, Midwest.
Just don't get married.
Yeah, right. Seriously. Um, Believe it or not, increasingly people are deciding that. What was I going to say? When I was looking at this house and other houses, of course, there was a house not too far from here. I bet I could hit a stone. I could throw a stone, well, a little bit farther than that, but I could
You
easily
can't
walk my
throw.
dog there in a few minutes. You know, they tried to hide they tried their best to hide it. The realtor obviously did, but they were growing a few plants in their backyard. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, "One of us, one of us." I wanted to go tour that house, right? But then I told my fucking realtor, and she emailed the other realtor right away, and they took that photo down because it's apparently that big of a fucking deal. Like, Jesus H. Christ. You know? I
But
guess
if
it
you have
makes
a
sense in the
beautiful
context of
tomato
the
garden, you can show that off.
100%. You could show your, yeah, I don't even know. You could probably have an entire backyard filled with poppies. You know what I mean? Because poppies are
Yeah.
actually legal to grow. And not only that, but you could go, and by the way, they are beautiful. You could actually have opium poppies that are gorgeous as fuck, and nobody would
I'll
say a
grow
word.
those.
Yeah, nobody would say a fucking word.
Yeah,
But God help you if you have weed. Holy shit.
yeah.
Around here, you could probably get away with having a fucking hedge with of weed plants, especially if it was like fucking ABC or fucking freak show.
That's what you gotta do. Just tell them that they're ferns. These are my garden ferns. Yeah, I harvest them from time to time and smoke them. It's very normal.
Freak show.
That's it.
Hey, hardcore, do you still have your leach? What was it? Leach compost that you were doing?
Oh, that's
It
right.
was
I
a
forgot
snail
about that.
tail.
It was snails? What was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
snails. I remember that.
Yes
Maybe
and
the
no, I
leech
don't.
part was just a joke.
I also remember him saying leeches too, but I'm like, wait, do they have leeches there? I don't even know.
I think you have leeches
Yeah, like
most.
if I were to take some um like some old spoiled chicken or something like that and put it in a fucking little cage and then put it on in the weeds somewhere, that thing would be full of leeches in no time, I think. I think that's what they do. I don't know. I've never tried to catch them, but I've only got them a few times swimming when I was a kid.
Yeah, same here. Like one time I remember.
I'm
But you'll
like,
see them like,
that's so weird. If you composted leeches, I think we talked about this once, but we were so high that I don't remember the conversation.
I know
If
we
you
have.
composted leeches, would they be like they would have to have a blood meal probably first to have any blood in them? So I guess my thought was, oh, could you compost them and get like the equivalent of blood meal? Could you get a bunch of iron from them? But no, they'd probably have to have a blood meal or something, right? But
you probably just put them in water, like let them ferment in water.
A freeze.
Ooh.
A blood
You'd have to get
feast.
them right after they drink their blood anyway. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I actually read something the other day. My brother-in-law got bit by a fly, and I've always heard flies bite before storms. So I was just looking it up, the reasoning, and apparently when that happens, it's typically female flies are biting, looking for a blood meal source for egg production.
Huh.
Has anyone ever heard that? Flies biting before a storm?
No,
No,
we have sandflies up
no.
here that fucking fight like a motherfucker.
but I know we have fuck, what are the flies?
The horse flies.
Horse
They're
flies?
blood suckers.
Yeah, horse flies that'll bite. Yeah.
Bastards. No, just a common house fly will bite you.
Huh.
Typically, it's all, every time I've ever seen it, it's before a storm. My dad always said it, and it's happened to me several times. They hurt. Just a common house fly.
I've never had that. Goodness gracious, I would go to war with them. Holy cow. One time I killed 25 flies in a day, and I batted my chest like He-Man. I was like, I am all that is man. Anyway, I don't even remember why I had 25 flies in the house. That's probably the better question, but still, you know, what's Phoebe got in the fucking house? Dead bodies. No, I don't know why I had so many fucking flies, but yeah, that's
Brains.
it.
I think it's a
But
little weird that you have an exact number in your head. Like you had a tally going. So it wasn't like it was a couple dozen. No, it was
and now I
25
don't remember if
something.
that is the exact number or not. I kind of want it to be the exact number. I kind of wanted to, it's to this day, it was the day of my fly murder.
Had like tally
Like,
marks
Trophy.
on the
Yeah, I have
wall.
it.
Wait,
Yeah, but
December
like blood
13th
marks on the wall. Or no, it's like a little fly. It's kind of like I got a stencil of a fly and I painted it on the side of my house like a jet airplane, like from World War II.
Teardrop tattoos on your cheek.
That's it. That's it.
That's
Got 25 teardrops down my face. That looks like a motorcycle. That's such funny perspective. It's probably just a boat, but it looked like a motorcycle crossing the water there.
Oh yeah, that's a pontoon just
Oh,
cruising.
was it a pontoon?
A sporty one.
Right on.
Yeah, I bet that there's got to be 100 boats on the lake right now. Actually moving. If you count all the ones that are just on docks, it's like thousands of them.
You in the water hardcore?
No, I'm thinking about it, but the jackass is like 100 feet to my left. Have the good spot that I usually park at. That's got sandy, more sand to it, and this probably is sandy too. I'm just the spot that I'm looking at right below me has some fucking weeds, and I still like act like a 4-year-old girl when my toes touch weeds. It's like, ew.
French.
Oh no, gross. I was gonna say you should get one of those little pontoon fishing boats and go out there and smoke a joint. But if you don't want to get your little
My
footsies
uncle's
wet,
got
then
a-
you know.
My uncle actually has one that's it's a paddle boat. You know, it's like fucking I don't know 12 feet long or something like that. You know, two person. It's got a bench seat, formed in it, and there's a like the rudder control is just a not like a handle right in between the two seats, and then you both have pedals, and he's got a fucking trolling motor mounted to it.
He just started his growing season, by the way. I was trying to think of jokes with the trolling motor, but then I started thinking about VT instead. And I was like, oh, he's got strawberries here.
I like to troll your mom.
Nice. Grows just in the ground, about 4 weeks old or so, topped once. Well, you'll still get a good harvest. It won't be as big as a couple of years ago that, oh goodness gracious, he had some big plants, but he'll still get a good harvest. I'm
There's
happy
all
that
sorts of
my
fucking
outdoor
farm
finally
too.
is looking good. In fact, I had which one was it? Why can't I think of it? Anyway, I had a problematic. Oh, it was Goji Pie. I had a problematic clone of Goji Pie that I put outside, and I was like, oh, let's let it heal up, basically.
Oh, Christian.
And for the longest time, it's just kind of been sitting there, not looking all that great, honestly. Finally, the sun healed it, and literally, like yesterday, the day before, finally, it has nice, fresh. It had fresh green growth underneath, but I was basically going to toss it. I was like, I'm giving up on this fucking clone. But sure enough, all the tops now are showing green growth. So actually, probably in the next 3 or 4 or 5 days, I'll be able to prune off all the shitty growth and put it off to the side, and it'll be a healthy plant. So that was It's one of those kind of tricks. Like sometimes when you have a plant that you really don't know what to do with, or something's just it hasn't been responding to anything. Sometimes putting it out in the sun will heal it. There's just something about the sun's rays that really help plants. Not to mention outdoor predators will oftentimes, if you have any kind of um, I don't know, hidden infestations, perhaps bugs that you can't really deal with or don't know how to deal with or something. I don't know, white flies or something. A lot of times the predators from outdoors will just take them right away. For example, spider
Like
mites. Like I
Jared from
never have
Subway.
problems with spider mites outdoors or anything like that. Like there's just no match for the outdoor predators. What's that, hardcore?
So like Jared from Subway.
Nice one. Jesus H. Christ, that guy was a fucking predator and a half.
I was gonna say call Chris Hansen quick.
That's right. Didn't they stop doing
I'm
that
Chris.
after they busted
No.
somebody important? I want to say that there was
Yeah,
Oh.
I
I
can't
heard
remember
they're
who it
still
was,
doing
but
it though.
are they?
Yeah.
Like
But he's not.
streaming or something, not like on a
Oh, maybe
network.
he has his own channel or something. I got you.
Yeah,
Huh.
which is
So he
great.
has. So he has his own. He does. He does them on YouTube, but he does like partials. Then he also has like a pay site, another site you can sign up for, where it's like hundreds of them. He still catches. And then there's another guy called Skeet Hansen, Skeeter Gene. He's a black guy that does it as well. He's awesome. He
It's
does it
kind
on
of
YouTube.
depressing when you think about it. I'm thinking about Chris Hansen's life. I mean, I'm sure he has a plenty nice house and everything, so we don't have to worry about him. But
Ow.
on the other hand, I'm just like, dude, you go to work every single day and you're catching predators. It's like, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I know, I understand. I'm
They
sure
they do that
there are
all
many
in like
cops that catch murderers or something and they're proud of it and stuff. But at the
they
same
probably
time, you're
make
like,
like
dude, every day of your life, you're looking for the worst people in the world that do the worst shit. Like
So
that's fucking horrible. I
they
don't
probably
know.
make like
even worse.
20 episodes
e-
during one day or one, It's like they've got
I
all
mean,
that
that's
SWAT
probably true
cameras in
too,
there.
hardcore. Actually, that's a really good
It's
point
probably like
because Chris
a whole
Hansen
bunch of
himself is probably not individually hunting down each person. You're 100% right.
like they gotta
Uh,
run
Even.
they gotta fucking run people in and out the doors because they're all scheduled right.
You know.
mm, Go ahead, D.
Even worse though than Chris Hansen, like having to put up all this shit. What about the decoy people?
yeah.
Like there's one person, Courtney Elizabeth, and she does her own, she has her own channel on YouTube. She's the actual decoy. Can you imagine having to deal with those scuzzy, dirty
Oh, so
people
she's the
all the
one that
time?
pretends to be a kid, basically? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
that
fucking
meets
awful.
like yeah, she pretends she's like a
I've heard of that.
14 year
Yeah, I've
old or
heard of
whatever.
FBI agents and stuff basically pretending to be young people. Yeah.
I've started to see
Ugh.
they say on my news feed where it's these guys that they're like vigilante fucking pedophile hunters
Yeah,
or
those
whatever.
guys are
Yeah.
crazy.
And they'll
They
go on
beat
like
the shit
they'll
out
go
of them.
like they'll say like, yeah, I know what you're here for, and if you lied, if you just tell me the truth, then we're not then I don't have to beat the shit out of you. But if you're gonna lie, and then they'll say, oh, I was just here to pick up something, and then they'll just start
Whack.
fucking hitting them in the face and fucking
Oh, so it's kind of like what Chris Hansen does, but fists drawn basically at the end. I got
yeah,
you.
but they don't actually go to jail like they don't
No, they beat the stuffing out of people.
well they get
Kind of
Yeah, I
like
don't
the
know how they're
scene
getting away
in
with it.
yeah, but they
Casino
don't
where De
deserve worse
Niro
than that.
says, no, wait, actually, he gives the second guy the option to leave without getting busted. But he's like, I'll break your hand and you can take the money. No, that's what it is. You can break your hand and take the money, or you can just leave. And the guy opts to just fuck off and wisely just walk out the
Yeah.
door. In his case, he was just caught cheating, gambling, but that was a weird comparison, I realize, but still. I don't know if I'm into the whole vigilante shit, because, dude, I don't know. It's easy to get things wrong. And so I'm like, how do you know
Yeah.
that someone doesn't get your fucking details wrong? And like all of a sudden they're misremembering all the details of this story, so it's not going to be very helpful. But I read something on
What?
Reddit recently where somebody literally, it was kind of like this. It was a vigilante and they completely got it wrong and killed a guy, basically. And apparently he had nothing to do with, I am forgetting every single relevant detail about this. But
Well,
I've known people that had to
well,
register as sex offenders for like peeing in public and shit.
a lot
I
of
guess I didn't
these.
hear. Oh, they got on the registry for that. No, I've heard stuff like that too. I've heard of people legit. I've heard of people getting on the registry for like their normal consensual underage relationship when they were like 17-year-old kids. For example, one kid was 17, the other kid was 18, and that'll be
Yeah,
enough to basically put them on a registry for a while at least.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But no, when these vigilante predator people, even like the other people, they get them to contact them first. They send the predator sends pictures of themselves and talk. They have all like the transcript of the sexual talk,
Mm.
so they have pretty well caught him in the act. He's not, you're not, and then meeting up with someone. There's meet here at this certain place, right? So it's not like it's the wrong person when it's gonna be he has the person's picture.
Suppose you're right.
It's just
Yeah,
crazy.
you're not walking into that situation accidentally. I suppose I see your
Yeah.
point. Um,
What are you doing here?
I don't know. It depends. I think in that sense, it really just depends on the integrity of the vigilante hunters, you know. And I'm just like, I don't know. You know, very few of the people in the world are Batman. You know, like Batman is a fictional fucking character. You know what I mean? Like Superman is a fictional fucking character. Like these people don't exist in real life. So I'm like, the idea that there's a perfectly upright person who is incorruptible, blah 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 blah. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
I have
speak.
mixed feelings on the issue. You know.
Yeah. Anyways,
If
okay, maybe
only
we should
Dexter
move
was
on.
real.
What's that?
If only Dexter was real.
Yeah, 100%. Seriously. Dude, the problem is we have too many fucking Darth Vaders and not enough Luke Skywalkers. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
fucking nuts. Or what was it that I heard a while ago? It was the problem is that real life is we have 10 Lex Luthors and no Supermen. And that's the actually probably best way to put it. Like we have fucking Luthor in every single country, a couple of them, you know what I mean? Arguably worse than Lex Luthor, and not one single Superman to save us. Fucked up,
Yep.
you know. What's VT saying? Who's the guy from Texas? Gordon, tall, huge guy. Get the producers to spill their guts and like brag and show us tons of stuff. Stuff is off the hook. Don't know who you're talking about. I guess I don't watch a lot of this kind of reality style content at all, really. Um,
Takedown, that's the name of it.
Takedown.
Yeah, Chris Hansen.
How do you get into the stuff, D? Like you're really into the scammer videos and stuff. I don't know what got you into it.
Uh, I guess I just randomly one day looking for something to watch. I saw Pierogi, Scammer Payback, and he's actually my favorite scam baiter, by the way. And if you guys, some of you guys might not know, I have an actual hat, Scammer Payback autographed hat
Nice.
of Scammer Payback. Pierogi signed
That's
it.
fun.
Yeah, it was on, and he
Um,
did it on a live.
I guess D wouldn't know this. I don't know if anybody would know this. Somebody fucking calling me. Uh, Jesus Christ, the amount of scam calls. Um,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, does anybody know the percentage of real scams compared to AI scams now? I don't mean real scams. I mean like human scams compared to AI scams. I wonder, because AI scams are
I hope
definitely on the
Nigeria
rise, but I
doesn't.
wonder what the percentage is. Because it's like
Hope
you couldn't bait an AI, you know?
I say, hope
Yeah.
Nigeria doesn't make the first AGI or raw flush.
Now,
That's fucking spectacular. Oh my God.
I'm
And the world's first AI is like some, because ironically, Nigeria is, they hate the scammers, but Nigeria is a huge country. It's got like 250 million people or something, right? And
Nigeria.
go ahead.
Nigerians are romance scammers. They do romance, mainly romance scams.
Yeah.
Well, they're also famous for the Nigerian prince scam, right? So like they're that's a finance scam too. They've been doing it for a long time. It's a whole fucking
I
industry.
once
Go ahead,
I once
hardcore.
I once talked to a chick on a dating app, and this was like, I don't know, 5 maybe 7 years ago, something like that. And she was black, or she showed her it was actually her actual pictures, but she was said that she had lived in the same town as me, or the town that I lived next to, which was a town of like 200 people, and it was like, I guarantee I don't know, you don't, or it didn't seem right, not there wasn't black people that lived
Especially in
there,
Minnesota where there's literally no
but
black people. Yeah. How many? I
well,
mean,
there's a
you
lot
probably
of them
know
down
all the
south.
black people by name. I'm exaggerating
Yeah, but I
slightly,
mean,
but
yeah, I knew I would have, and but then I she ended up using I forget how I found out who she was, but I think she used part of her real name. And I just was like, because I was asking her, I'm like, well, if you're really in this town, show me a picture of a pine tree. That shouldn't be too hard, or a
Hmm.
street sign, you know? And then it would be
Okay,
excuse
you
me.
know,
Well, then I actually found her like her Facebook or Instagram or something like that, and she was like it was like school pictures in like a mud hut with like tattered clothes. These girls that were and like I told her like I caught you. I know what I know you're from blah blah blah, and it was Nigeria, and this is your name and this and that, and then like she kept denying it, but I was like,
no,
here's
no.
there's a
First of all, it
couple of
wasn't even a
guys,
chick either, was it? It was probably just some fat dude, honestly.
No, it
Yeah,
was actually it was like
boy.
it
He's
was a
sitting there,
girl.
he's eating.
What are you
It was,
talking
I can't remember what
about?
they eat in Nigeria at the
it
moment,
was
but
the
he's
actual
eating whatever
girl.
the fuck they
I
eat
eat
there, and he's like,
right.
it's
But
greasy
like
on his fucking
I
hands.
ended up like trying to fucking like coach her. I was like fucking. Well, first of all,
I
don't
eat
don't
chicken.
do this thing you're doing wrong. Use a fake name as part of or and then like, but just certain things where it's like I found it was funny because she wanted me to send her fucking it was a like a points card that was like fucking for it was to play an iTunes card or something like that, but like the old school one, I forget what they used to be called. But it's like Nigeria,
iTunes?
they don't allow. What was that?
Was it iTunes? Or
It
before
might have been
that?
an iTunes card, but it was something that was like you know old school or whatever. But it was
Hmm.
because in
Yep.
Nigeria they don't allow a lot of like green dot money cards and like or Western Union or like there's a whole lot of places that just don't do business with there, so they have to like try to get the fucking weird type of things that they can exchange for cash somehow, or
Hmm.
exchange for this
Now
thing
there
with
is.
cash. Because she was asking me for that card or I need a money or I need a music card.
Yep, that's how it starts. Um, yeah, there's a new way now Nigerians can get money through wire transfer. There's some special wire transfer thing for Nigeria, so you gotta watch out for that too now. That's been happening for 6 months, 8 months now.
Faster.
Crazy. Yeah.
Then more power to them. Well, I guess they're preying on fucking the weak or whatever. But
Yeah, the
Thing
piece of
is,
shit.
people assume that Nigeria is some lawless place or something. It really isn't, actually. It's a huge country. Unfortunately, it's kind of disconnected from the world because of some shitty governments that they've had over the past,
Yep.
but it's actually apparently a really wonderful place. Da, 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 da. It's got incredible food that I can't remember what it looks like right now. But anyway, it's like West African food. I do remember that. And like I say, people are always surprised when they find out how big it is. It's like literally 200 fucking million people. It's super rich from oil, but it's a really unequal society because it's really corrupt and everything else. So they have a lot of the people that live in the swamps and stuff where they actually collect the oil. They get literally shot at by the oil companies and stuff. It's really quite extreme. So it's no surprise in many cases that a lot of these people do go to the entire like scam industry. It's kind of like the mafia in New York. Like it wasn't surprised that a lot of people joined it because it was a way to make a living and a way to survive for many people, right? Um, what am I
Speaking
trying
of
to
the
say?
devil,
It is actually illegal, like scamming and uh, finance. I can't even remember all the different stuff, but I remember that basically all the stuff that Nigerians do is illegal in Nigeria, and they actually have pretty strict penalties. But it's tough to catch people with these, like basically with international crimes, essentially. Like the domestic cops aren't really empowered to track the crimes that the local people are doing to international criminals. And then for example, local cops, for example, in the US or in fucking Denmark or wherever the victims are, they in many cases also are not empowered to talk to the Nigerian police. So it's kind of one of those perfect crime situations where nobody really knows
yep,
how to even look for these people.
exactly.
But
That's
it's
the
not that
exact
it's
same
not
way.
illegal. It actually is illegal there, and they do get caught for it
Yeah.
oftentimes.
No, that's the same thing that happens. That's the same thing exactly. It's the same thing in India with the
Hmm.
call scams.
Yeah,
Indian
same
police.
thing. India
What?
is a lot of people don't know this for some reason. India is the world's largest democracy. For some people, for some reason, people don't know that. And it
Yeah.
is actually a very strong democratic country. has flaws like any country. Obviously, it has strange leaders at the moment,
Fucking
but it is a
scammers.
democratically elected country, and they have a very strong legal system.
Fuck off.
But unfortunately, you can't catch the scammers unless you actually provide the evidence that can be used in a court, by their laws, blah, 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 Pretty fucking
Now,
tough to accomplish.
now we are making progress, fortunately. There is a computer crimes police in India, in Delhi, India. I think it's Delhi or whatever. Anyways, and as well now, a Pierogi from Scammer Payback. He's been doing it for so long now that he's actually made connections with the fuck off scammer. He's been actually making a connection with the police there in India. So now he's been helping catch these guys
I
with
got you.
crimes, which is pretty cool.
Right on.
D,
So,
do you know? Do you know? Is there like how big of an amount of people are actually doing this in North America, not just overseas? Is there a lot of scammers over here?
Now that's kind of different. Over here, well, if you're talking over there, like in US, you guys have a lot. There are scams and stuff, but a lot of it's cash mules. So the people that will pick up money from victims from that will send the money back to India. It's a
Oh,
whole
so
big
it's still
thing.
all pretty much linked to India or overseas compared to us.
Overseas, India, wherever,
Okay,
India, yeah, Jamaica, yeah, the first Nigeria, places like that. Yeah, yeah.
wild.
who are the people that are emailing with all the different phishing emails? Basically, like they'll send you like, oh, I'm a recruiter from Apple, and I want you to come here to get a job, or just any number of different phishing. I got a crazy one the other day from the what was it? Is either from the IRS or something, and it was
Yeah, me
scary and
too.
official sounding. Yeah, it was like we have denied your claim to something something. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, it was like official sounding enough that if you were somewhat gullible and there was a link to click, like please log into your
Yeah,
account right away, da da
or
da da da.
phone
There's
number.
plenty of people that would click on that. Do you have any idea who mostly is doing those, D?
The Indian, India.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, so I have a couple scammer hotline numbers that I use, like my personal, they not personal,
I love
but
that
they're the
hardcore's been
numbers I
swimming this whole
use.
time and we didn't even notice.
That's funny. I have some phone numbers that I use to call these scammers. I don't use my own number, of course. But I get like right now I just got one while we were talking, or you were talking to me. I got there right there, Apple. I just got one.
Hmm.
Apple payment transaction of $113.15 has been charged to your subscription. If you're unaware of the transaction, please call Apple support at this number.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people
Yeah,
who would have been super gullible enough to immediately call back. Yeah.
yeah.
They
I
wouldn't
get
have
them all day.
and I mean, how do I say this? Like you don't even have to be that gullible to get that. Imagine you have an iPhone
Oh,
and you have several
yeah.
iPhone accounts, uh what's the Apple family called? Whatever the fuck. You got several people in your fucking Apple family account, da 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 da, and all of a sudden you get an email from presumably Apple, $160 in charge. A lot of people I know would assume that it was their daughter or whoever else that accidentally basically rung something up. They're like, oh, fuck, I got to call in right away. Well,
Yep,
of course, the appropriate thing to do would be to hang up and do nothing and call the actual number for Apple and if there's any concerns. But a lot of people don't think of
exactly.
that and they would just click that link.
Yep, that's crazy. And then they get on your computer, and then
Well, if nothing else,
the
they'll
thing
farm your
is,
details and then start using your account to do stuff. Yeah, either buy
yeah,
things or whatever. Or like
yeah,
you said, get
that
on your
too.
computer in worst case scenario. Yeah.
Well, that's what they do. They get on your computer because they want to process a refund, and they'll get you to enter all this information like your name, address, blah
Hmm.
blah blah. And at the same time, then they'll say, "Okay, go check your bank account." So you go online, they're watching you, and you're entering your bank information, your bank account number, and your password. Then they got all your
Hmm.
banking information. They can transfer money. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, man.
So do they, I guess I didn't even think about this. Do they use, I don't remember what the software is called, but
Your
I can't even think
keylogger?
of the word remote, not even a keylogger, remote viewer software. Basically, when you call in, for example, to Apple, they have the capacity to literally
Yep.
not necessarily take
A
over your
desk,
computer, but they can
AnyDesk.
AnyDesk.
Yeah,
There we
that's
go. So they
one.
basically use something like AnyDesk. Gotcha.
AnyDesk or ConnectWise Control, any of their programs. They got their own programs where you enter a code and then they got you that way too. And what's the other one? Shit, I
Huh.
can't think of it. Not AnyDesk. UltraViewer.
Huh.
UltraViewer is another one.
I remember reading something that AnyDesk was banning fucking 10 million accounts or something, blah blah blah, and they were gonna
Yeah.
be super specific with who they got to join new accounts or something. But did that all
Yeah.
fall through? Because if people are still using AnyDesk, it sounds like that probably didn't work.
No. So we have, well, me, but the community has the ear of one of the main guys at AnyDesk, and he actually worked with Scammer Payback a lot,
Hmm.
and he actually will. They anytime we get like AnyDesk information from them, their logins and shit, we report them,
Hmm.
and then the guy will delete them off their AnyDesk server, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Well, at least they take care of it. I mean, God,
Yeah.
literally, they're creating the weapon. At least you could hope for them to help solve the weapon's damage.
Roll a joint.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we actually had a decent discussion. We got to see Hardcore dip his toes in Lake whatever the fuck.
Did you
In
see
fact,
me
that's the
push the
name.
ball
It's
against the
called,
net right
is
at the
that the
beginning?
name actually, Hardcore Lake whatever the fuck? It's an old Indian name.
It's actually a made-up Indian name. They took two different language. They took like Chippewa and Sioux, and they made one word out of it. It's stupid.
And let me
And there's
guess,
like a
both those
whole.
tribes hated each other, probably, right?
There's a whole. Well, it's just the old time. There's like some lady wrote a book about it or something, or like wrote a novel that was she made up this. And there's this whole lore about like a princess that was fucking that one of the tribes fucking stole or
Oh,
something like they kidnapped her or something like that. And they say that it's named after her, but that was just a made up story. That's not that like
oh,
some
here it
lady
is.
fiction story, and yet it stuck. And I mean, there's like bronze statues of the made up person. Kind of
So in
fucking
the
sad.
US, okay, who wrote The Lonesome Ranger? I don't remember right now, but everyone knows The Lonesome Ranger, or a lot of people know The Lonesome Ranger, right? And Tonto and whatever. That's kind of our
Hi-Ho
West.
Silverware.
Yeah,
You
hi,
mean the Lone
Silver.
Ranger?
Uh, but in Europe and basically the rest of the world, it's Winnetou. And Winnetou was written by, oh my God, the fucking guy's name just fell out of my head right now. The same guy that wrote The Last of the Mohicans. And the dude had never been, I don't think he even went to the US. He like lived in the UK, just like this foppish fucking dickhead.
The
I
guy that
cannot
wrote
think of the guy's name. What's his
the guy that
fucking,
wrote
Robert
I've Been
Louis Steven,
Everywhere
not that. What's that?
with the song I've Been Everywhere, you know, but that Johnny Cash did. The guy that originally
Hello.
wrote that was in Britain, and he'd never set foot in America.
I believe it.
That's true fact.
uh, what's
Or
his
you know,
fuck?
the crying Native American.
The writer that wrote the Britney Spears song "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time." He didn't speak English, and so he didn't understand fucking whatever. So like that's what "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time." What the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, it sounded like fucking plausible for him, so he was like, "All right, hit me, baby, one more time."
Or like the
Here's a ru
guy, the old littering campaign commercials, where there's the Native American is walking on the side of the road, and someone throws some trash at out of their car window, and then he has a single tear coming down his face. That guy
Yeah,
was
he's not.
100%, that guy was 100% Italian.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I lied to you about this guy writing
Oh, who is this?
uh Last of the Mohicans. This is a different guy. This is Carl May. But another guy, so Winnetou was written by Carl May, but another guy who'd never been to the fucking West. So he just like made shit up basically. What was the
Yeah,
guy Last of the
I've never
Mohicans?
heard of that. That was funny to hear that.
They talk about Winnetou
Oh,
Inglorious Bastards.
It sounds like
When they're
Bob.
in the cellar, basically Hildegard von Hammersmark or whatever the fuck, mentions him basically. Oh, when they're playing that card game, one of the Germans is like, "Oh, I'm Winnetou, fast and strong," blah 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 blah. Anyway,
I thought it sounds like it come out of Kurt Vonnegut book for some reason, but
yeah, right. So Last Mohicans, James Fenimore Cooper. There we go. That's who he fucking was. But another guy, same kind of guy, like not
That's
really
what I was gonna
a
say.
real historical dude.
god damn, these people got golf carts here. You could rent them again too, but
And all the Mohicans were like, "Wait, we're dead now?" Because there's actually still Mohicans. In fact, they were one of the bigger tribes, I believe, one of the bigger tribes in the East.
but another thing too. So there's a Indian burial mound that's really prevalent over on on the other side of the lake where I live. Is that's actually like a quarter mile away from my old my old garden was the Cheryl
You
one.
know,
But in any case, that's like part of the lore where they say that that's where the Princess Minowaska is. But the thing is that that's like a fucking like an
I'll show it
archaic
later.
burial where it's like
Oh,
you know 5,000-10,000 years old. It's not has nothing to do with the current natives that are here.
Hmm.
Or maybe it is could be their bloodlines technically, but it's way back, but it's a totally different peoples. And there's actually like I was like getting into reading the old like the first people to make any um written documentation about the land here were the railroad mineralists and prospectors or whatever, where like they'd have these guys that would go out and they'd survey land for the where they're going to put their railroads, and they would do like really they'd have like a geologist and a mineral whatever, and like but they would document all the things that were at everything that was all the local resources and the trees and what fish were in the lakes and shit. But they were saying something about all the different area or burial ground locations that are around or that were on this lake on my side of the town, and almost none of them exist anymore.
Huh.
Back in the fucking in the 20s and the 30s, people just bulldozed them
Wow.
to make more lake shore property and shit.
Huh.
Someone's going horn happy. God, there's a lot of motherfuckers on jet skis out here. I see like 5 of them just from where I'm at.
Yeah, no kayaks. It's all just fucking jet skis.
There's
Hmm.
people tubing behind the fucking speedboat.
Lake Titicaca.
That's it.
Sounds
Dude,
like
nothing
it.
better than going out to the wild nature and seeing the birds and the fish and breathing that fresh air and then burning as much fucking gas in a two-stroke engine as you possibly can.
If I go down the road this way,
nothing better than the smell.
or if I go down the road like 3 or 4 miles, there's I know it's a state park. I might even be a national park. I think it's just a state park though. But they've got a couple secluded lakes that are only accessible by foot and or
Any
by
nude beaches?
or by a boat plane if you really fucking
Any beach is a nude beach if you try hard enough, D.
actually, you know what? I want to say that it is legal to nude bathe around here somewhere. There was just
You can do anything you want.
Right?
there's someone in one of the bigger towns near the bigger town. I say
Screaming
15,000
ensues.
15,000 people, but they run like some weird
Save
Facebook
us.
page where they're like want to be like a gonzo journalist or something like that. They're always like posting dirt on all the local like representatives and shit. But they fucking his wife apparently has like she got big fake tits, and apparently she was fucking had a big story about how she was the first legal topless sunbather to be in Lake Mohammedan in Alexandria.
Somebody's got to plant a flag.
You would not want to nude bathe up there towards sunset, though. Mosquitoes
Why is
would
that?
just tear you up.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, they come out hard where I'm at. This house right here, right at
Come
like
back
fucking,
with a full body mosquito bite. Like, how would you even itch it at that point? You would just have to submerge yourself in ointment, basically. Like
I
the
know. I
Baron
went up.
Harkonnen in fucking Dune, they would have to submerge you in a fucking pool of ointment. What happened? My Arrakis, my Dune, it was fucking mosquitoes. That'd be pretty
well, I
bad.
better fucking take my ass back to that rooftop because
On that note, yeah, on
gotta
that,
get it finished today.
with that visual in your mind of like inner thigh mosquito bites, that's how we'll leave everybody. Because
Mosquito,
that's
you're
how
eating
bad it is
mosquito and whack
apparently
it
in the
off.
Midwest, right? Like we complain about mosquitoes here, and rightfully so, because they're fucking pieces of shit. But you guys, like that's where they
Sorry,
live,
Cole.
basically. That's like
It's our
Mordor.
state bird.
Yeah. Yeah, Mosquito State Park, 100%.
No, it says it's our state bird.
It's
Yeah, it
your
should
state
be.
bird. That's fucking
And there's even
hilarious.
a song when I was a kid. There's a skeeter, I'm a Peter, whack it off. Toot, toot.
And I've heard that the mosquitoes in the Midwest are enormous too, like a $quarter size by the time they put
Oh
all
yeah,
their legs out. Yeah. Like
especially up there.
you'll get
Well, you
lightheaded from a
learn,
couple bites. I'm joking, but you know.
you learn to use DEET. I wish I knew it
Yeah.
better than
Um, you know
organic
what actually helps? I don't know
methods.
about Midwest mosquitoes, but what has helped me quite a bit, it was a weird one for me, but I was the first to second guess this, but I had no access at the time to, this is like 10 years ago, to any kind of mosquito repellent or anything. And I was getting eaten alive. I was in Eastern Europe of all places, basically, and a friend basically suggested put some vanilla extract on your hand. And the funny thing is, the vanilla extract that we found wasn't even pure vanilla. It was just like whatever cheap shit you could buy basically at the local grocery store. But I just bought like a little tiny jar and I would just dab a couple little dots of it. And sure enough, the mosquitoes would fucking avoid me. And to this day, if mosquitoes ever fuck around, I basically put a little vanilla on. And so
I
far,
was
so
gonna say I
good,
want to say
actually.
something like lemon oil or something like that, but I
I've
can't
heard that
remember.
too. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not specifically the vanilla. It's rather that it just kind of disguises your scent or something, right? But whatever. I don't give a shit. Go ahead, D.
The beaver,
Don't they like
beaver
go
butthole
in on
juice.
your
Hmm.
carbon dioxide or something like that? I don't know.
I mean, you can use like I've actually tried real vanilla too. That seems to work too. So, like I say, it probably is either that smell or that kind of smell confuses mosquitoes, or maybe it just disguises your smell, your scent. Because, for example, I used to be a crazy fisherman. No, crazy fisherman. I was crazy about fishing, and one of the big secrets here in the Pacific Northwest was when you were salmon fishing, trout fishing, steelhead fishing, whatever. You would basically spray your hands with WD-40, and it was obviously a superstition. But people would basically spray their lures and stuff with WD-40. They do all this different stuff with
I've heard
WD-40,
that.
and they would say, "Oh my God, my fishing success basically jumped like crazy." Well, really, what it was is you were masking your human scent. And fish are surprisingly, they don't necessarily know that you're a human, but they know that there's a predator looking for them. So when you mark a lure basically with your hands, they smell something unusual with it. And fish actually have quite a good sense of smell underwater. Masking it with WD-40 confuses them and they wouldn't know what the fuck it was. So it's not like they were attracted to WD-40, which all the fishermen were saying, oh my God, they love the WD-40. And they would literally like almost, bathe in it. You know what I mean? Like fucking like Banaka or something, right? But that wasn't it. That was basically superstition. All they were doing is masking their scent. And so a lot of fishing guides started using rubber gloves like we weed people. And sure enough, their fishing success went up. So it wasn't the WD-40. But
You know
to
that
this day, people fucking have WD-40 in their fishing tackle boxes.
did you know that WD-40 isn't patented? Because
Really?
in order to patent it, they would have to divulge their recipe.
Ah, there's quite a few solutions like that. Yeah. Hmm.
I wonder if the Coca-Cola's got to be, maybe they're not patented. Or
By now, the patent probably would have expired too.
what are
But
the
yeah,
claims?
they kind of those companies. I mean, it's not hard to replicate Coke. Actually, people have replicated Coke just fine. People know what's in it. It's hard to get the coca leaves. Basically, that's the problem. To get it to have, I guess it's the texture more than anything else. I think I've heard that because they take all the cocaine out of it these days, right? But they still use coca leaves. They still actually do use coca leaves, but they extract it and then throw away all the rest. Basically, it would be hard to emulate that anywhere other than what Colombia, basically, right? But I don't know. Could you even grow? Like, could you? I don't. I hope I don't get banned for this. But if
I've
you
always
wanted to,
wondered,
theoretically, could you grow coca leaves? What the coca plant? I guess because it's related
I
to,
was gonna say,
it's
I've always
related to
wondered
both
why there
chocolate
isn't,
and coffee, right? Pardon?
I've always wondered why there isn't like, 6-story mega fucking warehouses that just do that. Like, cartels run shit or whatever.
That's probably the reason. Yeah, to be perfectly honest, I feel like I actually heard that the country Colombia was actually talking about decriminalizing coca leaves or something. So like maybe that's why it was on my head. Anyway, whatever, because people apparently chew the coca leaves for altitude
Well, yeah,
sickness
a
and
lot of the
whatever else.
workers there, like
Pardon?
a lot of the workers do, and like a lot of the like the really small, like jungle bodega or whatever the fuck you want to call them. They trade in paste and shit, or like they'll trade in cocoa beans or something like that.
Because I know you can get kat, the Yemeni leaf that kind of when you chew on it for 5 hours, it makes you a little bit high. Like you can legitimately buy it in the US. It's legal. Uh, I mean, it really, you'd have to smoke. From what I understand, you'd have to fucking chew like a cheekful, like a squirrel to get anything out of it, really. Um,
Isn't salvia legal?
pardon? Oh
Salvia?
yeah, like salvia, that'll fuck you up. That's kind of a fucked up high too. And
What
then what
about
is it? The one that everybody was talking about.
spice?
Oh my fucking God, I can't think of the name.
Spice?
Um, no, everybody and their uncle kratom. Everybody and their uncle was talking about
Yeah.
kratom for a few years. Turns out it's actually bad for your kidneys and da 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 da. But anyway, that's legal, right? So anyway, it's surprising the things that are and aren't legal in this country. Anyway, whatever. We're preaching to the choir at this point.
Well, wish me luck that I can finish this trip today.
I wish you luck, hardcore. I hope that the breezes are fucking fantastic. I hope the humidity drops. I hope there are some absolutely spectacular bikini-clad observers that cheer you on. Hopefully, very few of them are named Steve. Hopefully, most of the bikini cheerleading squad are named like, I don't know, Meredith and Tiffany.
Beach.
100%. The beach bitch. 100%. She's coming with. She's taking a break from her TikTok to come and see the famous hardcore. Oh, look at that. Bud's coming to say hey. But hopefully you finish it, buddy. Good to see you.
Yeah, yesterday it took like 4 hours to learn how to do it the 15-minute way. So today I only have to do it for 15 minutes.
Nice.
I guess I missed that. What is he on? A boat?
Good,
A canoe?
Hardcore? No, he's just parked next to the river. He was just taking a break.
Oh. Oh, he's in a truck.
He was swimming there for a while.
It's
Okay.
a 21-mile around lake, not a river. It is. I mean, the Mississippi does get this wide in spots though.
Yeah.
It's just
I work on the Mississippi quite a bit.
Oh, do you?
like a kidney bean.
Hmm.
Really long one.
What's up, bud?
Yeah, you can only
Hi,
see part of the
hi,
lake from here. I can only see maybe like a fifth of the lake or something like that from here.
Yeah.
Huh.
Cheers, bud.
What's going on, bud?
What's
We're
everybody
kind of on
doing
the we're
today?
kind of on the way out, but we'll say hey.
I figured
How was work?
it's 1:30, but whatever. It came on. Something you guys were talking about, and then I can't remember. It's all good.
We can think of it. We can make it happen. I'd love to think. I'd love to assume so. What's people talking about in the chat? Not too many people in the chat. Old school is in the chat. What's going on, buddy? Long time no
Go
see, old
live on
school.
that. Watch me
What
tear
else
off
is
and
here?
look like a madman.
Hey, Fumi, I don't know if I've ever told you my picture I have on there is all tis but a scratch.
Oh, is it really? Right on. That's cool.
My last indoor grow I did.
Nice. Right on. How'd you like it?
Oh, I love it.
Right on.
It produced big time
Did
too.
it? Right on. Yeah. Good quality genetics. I have to be honest, like it's been very interesting for me to see my puppy. He's very much an obvious like a quality F1 cross. It's just funny to think about it, right? He's a pain in the ass, and he's probably destroyed something in the last hour that I haven't been paying attention. So he is basically a pain in my ass. But he's the reason. He is the singular reason why I didn't get to see Wu-Tang yesterday. But he's also a fucking sweetheart. And he's obviously a very good F1 cross. He's apparently an Anatolian Shepherd and a Husky. I mean, I got him from the Humane Society, right? But he very much looks like an Anatolian Shepherd and a Husky, and he has both features. And he's obviously very, very healthy. He's already much bigger than the Huskies that hang out in the dog park. Like when I first got him, he was like, I don't know, 30 pounds or something, and he was a little bashful. And these two Huskies were a little bit aggressive at the dog park. They kind of try to run the place. Well, he already can put his head on their shoulders, right? So they chill out when they see him now, which is really quite fun because he still has all the Husky games. He's smart as fuck, and he cuts them off and stuff. But he can already kind of tone their bullshit down. What was I going to say? He's both probably from the Husky and the Anatolian. He's too smart for his own fucking good. That's why he's such a pain in the ass. But it's going to be very helpful. He learns very, 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 very quickly. For example, I have this ritual where I go out and make my stupid fucking Turkish coffee, right? And I always do it on the porch because I do it on a little propane burner basically. I don't do it indoors. After like a week, 2 weeks that he was here, he figured out, oh, every time he grinds the coffee, puts it in the jar, that means he's going out. And he knew it was a chance for him to go out and, have a pee. He just figured it out just like that. He figured out the ritual. That's pretty exceptional, I would say, for at the time, I don't know, 4 or 5 month old puppy. You know what I mean? He's showing these fucking clevernesses. Anyway, I guess I don't have to, brag about my dog. I guess what I'm trying to say is you can see the vigor of a good F1 cross. And so, for example, that was that whole Ruby Jack line that had basically never touched, or for a very long time, never touched the Coot Special Ty and Carola, which itself was a good F1, honestly. So long story short, you have all this vigor that popped into that line, and the Tisbita Scratch was that open pollination version of the Black Knight's Delight. So arguably more variety, more possibilities. Da, 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 da. That's why I gave it out for free. I thought it'd be a fun project for people. Anyway, I'm always pleased to hear that people enjoy it because I was sure it would be some spectacular genetics show. And I've definitely grown the Black Knight's Delight, which again was the selected version of it. But I've also grown quite a few of the Tisbita Scratches, and gosh, you get like tutti fruity, fresh and fruity. You get all kinds of weird shit. It's kind of
Yeah.
fun. I got a super sour one time. That was cool. I should have kept that one, but I didn't think to take clones of it.
Yeah. If I stay here through this winter, I think I'm going to do one run, and I have lots of your seeds. I'm
Hmm.
tempted by the Sour Morgana and Oblivion.
Smoking Oblivion right now.
Yeah, I really want to pop that, and I've never done the Sour Morgana either.
I recommend both. I really enjoy the Sour Morgana. Uh, I feel like it's the best, other than the perps, because you don't get a lot of perps basically from the Sour Morgana line. I haven't seen a lot of perps in the stuff that I've popped. I haven't heard a lot of people. There's a little bit of perps, like maybe one or two people have said that there's some perp in there, but the flavors are delightful. It's super, super vigorous. The high is spectacular. I really like that Sour Morgana a lot. So that's basically one of my next projects is to feminize the Sour Morgana number 4 onto a few different things. And I think that should yield some really, really interesting feminized crosses.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I really like it. I guess that's all I was going to say.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. I like it. I like it a lot. I didn't like the second Dumb and Dumber that much. The first one I think was just a classic, hard to beat. The second one they were kind of trying to try a little bit too hard. It was funny.
How it
It was
usually
funny,
goes.
but it wasn't.
I'm not much of a movie goer, but in the last year, I noticed there's like a dozen. What do you call them? Like like what do you
Oh,
call when it's like?
sequels.
And it
It's
seems
all
like
sequels. All sequels.
it's
All Hollywood
all
does now is
sequels. I'm like,
sequels. Yeah.
wait, wait, you were talking about? Oh wait, yeah,
No, you're right. It's famously all fucking sequels now. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't really go to the movies. Oh, he's taking off. Well, maybe we'll take that as a cue, ladies and gentlemen. I have some stuff to do too. It's as good a time as any to cut this short, so maybe we'll say our goodbyes. Hardcore is already back to work, so we'll let him do his thing. Who wants to be next? Midwest? How about you, buddy? Good to see you.
Hey, man, good to talk to you guys.
Yeah, man.
Happy to be here on a week off. I can actually come in for a high
Yeah,
noon. So
cheers. Good to
Y'all
see
take
you.
it
Have
easy.
a great rest of your vacation. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Enjoy yourself. Yeah, man.
You guys too.
Cheers. Technically hardcore, I think said his goodbye. We'll probably just let him do his thing. Looks like he set his phone down. We'll let yeah, he's off at work. We'll let Bud finish his conversation. D, go for it. Do your thing, my friend. Oh, you're muted, buddy. There you are. Still muted though. You're not muted, but I can't hear you. That's very strange. Can't hear you.
who?
Can't hear D. Cheers, hardcore.
Oh, I had to take a phone call, but I'm back.
Yeah, sorry, D. We can't hear you. Don't know why. I guess peace. We'll see you. Go for it, bud.
Yeah, everyone have a good rest of the week. I guess celebrate the fourth safely, and yeah,
Yeah, man. Have a good. I know you're probably going to grill something good, so have a good fourth, buddy.
yeah. Same with you. Same
Don't
with
get
everyone.
don't get blown up by any weirdos freaking fireworks. Cheers,
Yeah.
D. Can we hear you now? Nope, still can't hear you. Well, I guess we'll just wave to D. Cheers, D. Have a good one, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's it for today. D, are we doing high noon safety meeting? Thumbs up? Yes? Okay, right on. So Saturday high noon safety meeting, ladies and gentlemen, same time, well, different time, but same place, on the Fumodoro channel, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be there on Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, I think it is. That's not worth relighting. Oh wait, it's still burning. That was hardly a puff. All right. Well,
Later.
I made an effort at least. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging. Good to see everybody. Please do visit fumidoro.com. Speaking of Oblivion, Summer Morgana, a number of, I think, great new strains. Quite a few different other Jack the Ripper crosses. I keep saying I was going to release some of that other stuff, and then I kind of got discouraged by some of the trolling. I will be releasing some of those other crosses here in the very, very near future, plus some other stuff here. Basically, those Jack the Ripper males. And then also, I have a couple other fun things. They're literally sitting in front of me in some cases. One of the new Morgana versions. In fact, that was literally right in front of me. It's literally the Cuvée, the Coot Special, and then I had the one of the Morganas, I think it was Morgana number 4, across to the Jack the Ripper. Anyway, a bunch of different options, ladies and gentlemen. I think you guys will enjoy them. Check them out, fumidoro.com. Some are available now, some will be available shortly. Don't forget to use the coupon code BRAINS, ladies and gentlemen, for 10% off, of course. And thanks very much for hanging, folks. Thanks. Good to see you. Good to see you, Joseph Anthony. Cheers, buddy. VT in the house, old school. Christoph, of course. Good to see you. Bud Kilowatt, of course, as always. Good to see Hardcore building that house. I'm sure there's plenty of jokes in there, but I can't think of one right now. Thanks very much for hanging, folks. Lurkers, non-lurkers, all of you. There we go. Lurkers, non-lurkers, all of you. Don't forget, folks, be kind, be decent, be gentle, but don't be fucking blah, blah, blah. Don't be fucking pricks, dicks, or lunatics. Until we meet again, ladies and gentlemen, puff something wonderful and